Before you adopt any dog, watch this first. Let me be honest with you, right now, most dog adoption videos will give you a nice little list. German Shepherds are loyal. Golden Retrievers are friendly. Huskies are beautiful. Pick the one you like, the look of good luck. This is not that video. Because that kind of advice has led to millions of dogs sitting in shelters right now confused, heartbroken and waiting, not because they were bad dogs, but because somebody picked them based on how they looked in a photo. And when real life hit, nobody was prepared. I've seen it happen more times than I can count. A family falls in love with a border collie puppy video on Instagram. They adopt one. 6 months later, their house is destroyed. Their dog is spinning in circles from anxiety, and they are on the phone with the rescue center crying because they don't know what went wrong. Nothing went wrong with the dog. Everything went wrong with the decision. So today, we are going to fix that. We are going to go deep. We are going to talk about dog breeds, the way nobody else talks about them, through the lens of psychology, instinct history, and real-life compatibility. By the time this video ends, you will know exactly what kind of dog belongs in your life. And more importantly, you will know which ones absolutely do not. Because this might be the most important dog video you ever watch. Let us start with something that most people never consider. Every single dog breed on the planet was created by humans for a specific purpose. This is not a small detail, this is everything. When you look at a border collie, you are not just looking at a dog. You are looking at hundreds of years of selective breeding, designed to produce an animal that can run 30 miles a day, make complex independent decisions, and herd livestock for 8 to 10 hours without stopping, that drive, that intensity, that need to work. It is not a personality quirk. It is hardwired into every single cell of that dog's body. When you look at a Siberian Husky, you are looking at a dog that was bred to run 100 miles. In Arctic conditions without food, 100 miles. Their entire psychology is built around movement, endurance and independence. They do not need you to tell them what to do. They were bred to make decisions alone in a blizzard. When you look at a dachshund, you are looking at a dog that was literally bred to go underground, into badger dens and fight underground, alone against a badger, that fearlessness, that stubbornness, that I will do what I want energy. That is not attitude, that is ancient programming. Here is what this means for you. When you bring a dog into your home, you are not getting a blank slate. You are getting 10,000 years of specific behavioral programming wrapped in fur. And if your lifestyle does not match that programming, if you cannot provide the outlet that dog's brain and body were designed for, that dog will find its own outlet, and you will not like what it chooses. This is not the dog's fault. This is a mismatch, and mismatches are heartbreaking for everyone involved. So before we talk about specific breeds, I want you to do something. I want you to honestly, brutally, without any wishful thinking, assess your actual life, not the life you hope to have, not the life you imagine you will have once you get a dog. Your actual life right now. How many hours a day are you realistically home? Not how many hours you want to be home. How many hours you actually are, because some breeds develop severe psychological disorders from being alone, more than 4 hours a day if you work a full-time job and live alone. That information matters enormously. How active are you really? Not how active you plan to become right now. Because some breeds need 2 to 3 hours of vigorous exercise every single day just to reach a baseline of calm. If your idea of exercise is a 20-minute walk around the block, that information matters enormously. Do you have children, small children? Because some breeds have such high prey drive that they can never be fully trusted around running, screaming children no matter how well trained they are. That information matters enormously. Do you live in an apartment or a house? Do you have a yard? Because some breeds were designed to patrol acres of land and will pace and spin and bark themselves into psychological collapse in a small apartment. That information matters enormously. Are you a first-time dog owner? Because some breeds are so psychologically complex, so sensitive, so demanding of an experienced handler, that putting them with a first-time owner is setting both the dog and the owner up for years of frustration and failure. Be honest with yourself right now, because the dog you choose will live with the consequences of your honesty or your denial for the next 10 to 15 years, and so will you. Now let us talk about the breeds. And I want to do this differently. Instead of going breed by breed, I want to go by psychological category, because within each category, the core needs and the core challenges are the same. And once you understand the psychology, you understand the breed. The first category is what I call the working mind breeds. These are dogs that were bred not just to be physically active, but to think, to problem solve, to make independent decisions. Border Collies, Belgian Malinois, Australian Shepherds, German Shepherds, Dobermans. These dogs are not pets in the traditional sense. They are working partners who happen to live in your home. And the key word there is working. A Border Collie that is not given a job will create its own job. And their jobs are things like hurting your children by nipping at their heels, obsessively chasing shadows and lights, spinning in circles for hours, destroying every piece of furniture in your home, or developing anxiety so severe that they cannot be left alone for even 30 minutes. I want to be very clear about something. A tired Border Collie is not a happy Border Collie. A physically exhausted Border Collie is just a tired dog who will be back at full intensity after a nap. What these dogs need is mental exhaustion. They need to think, they need puzzles, they need training sessions, they need agility courses. They need a task that engages their extraordinary intelligence. Every single day, if you have the time, the energy, the experience, and the commitment to provide that, a working mind breed, will give you a partnership unlike anything you have ever experienced. They are breathtaking animals. They will read your mind. They will anticipate your every move. They will make you feel like you have a four-legged person living with you. But if you are looking for a dog to relax with on weekends and go on occasional hikes, please do not get a working mind breed. You will both be miserable. The Belgian Malinois deserves a special mention here, because this breed has become incredibly popular online. People see them in videos doing incredible things, and they want one. And I understand completely, they are magnificent animals. But the Belgian Malinois is the breed that professional dog trainers most often describe as too much dog for most people. These are the dogs that work with special forces units, with bomb disposal teams, with police departments. They have a drive and an intensity that most people are completely unprepared for. They will redirect that drive onto your home, your family, and your own mental health if you cannot channel it properly. This is not a breed for anyone who is not deeply experienced with high drive working dogs. I say this with complete respect for the breed. They deserve an owner who can match them. Most people cannot. The second category is the independent thinkers. These are breeds that were designed to work alone without human direction. Huskies, Malamutes, Akitas, Chow Chows, Basenji, Shiba Inus. Here is what you need to understand about independent thinkers. They did not evolve to look to humans for guidance. They evolved to make their own decisions. And that means traditional training, the kind that works beautifully with a Labrador, often falls completely flat with these breeds. Tell a Labrador to sit and they will sit, because making you happy is their entire reason for existing. Tell a Husky to sit and they will look at you, consider your request, weigh whether it aligns with their current priorities, and then probably go do something else. This is not stubbornness in the human sense. This is independence. It is a feature, not a bug. But it means you need to be an extremely skilled, patient and creative trainer to work with these breeds effectively. Huskies also deserve a specific warning. They are extraordinarily beautiful. They have become one of the most adopted breeds in the world, largely because of how they look. And they are also one of the most surrendered breeds in the world, for exactly the same reason. Because people fall in love with the aesthetic and are completely blindsided by the reality. Huskies howl, not bark, howl loudly for extended periods, especially when they are bored, lonely, or frustrated, which in an apartment with a working owner is most of the time. If you live in an apartment building, Your neighbors will hate you within a week. Huskies escape. They are escape artists of the highest order. They can scale fences, dig under barriers, and find gaps that should be physically impossible for a dog their size. If your yard is not completely secured at every possible point, your husky will be gone, and huskies that escape do not come back. They run. That is what they were bred to do. Huskies shed, not seasonally, constantly, and twice a year they blow their coat, which means your entire home, your clothes, your food, your lungs and your existence will be covered in a thick layer of white fur for approximately 6 weeks. If you have any kind of cleanliness standards or allergies, please factor this in. If you can provide 2 to 3 hours of vigorous exercise daily, a completely secure environment, patient and creative training, and you genuinely love a dog that is more like a wild animal that chooses to live with you than a traditional companion. A husky can be a magnificent experience, but go in with your eyes completely open. The third category is the sensitive souls. These are breeds that feel everything deeply. Golden Retrievers, Cavalier King Charles Spaniels, Vizslas, Weimaraners, Collies. Sensitive soul breeds are often recommended for families and first-time owners because of their gentle, loving nature and in the right environment. That recommendation is completely valid, but there is something about sensitive souls that most people do not fully prepare for. These dogs need you deeply, consistently, continuously. A Vizsla, for example, has been nicknamed the Velcro dog because they will physically attach themselves to you and follow you from room to room every hour of every day. They sleep touching you. They sit touching you. If you go to the bathroom, they wait outside the door. This is not clingy behavior. This is their psychology. They were bred to work in close partnership with a single hunter, never leaving their side. That programming does not disappear in a home environment. A Vizsla left alone for 8 hours a day will develop separation anxiety, so severe that it becomes a genuine mental health crisis for the dog. Destructive behavior, self-harm, incessant vocalization, refusal to eat. These are not behavioral problems. These are psychological symptoms of a dog whose fundamental need for connection is not being met. The same is true for Weimaraners, for Cavaliers, for Collies. These are dogs that thrive when they are embedded in the rhythm of your daily life, when they go where you go, see what you see, and feel connected to your energy throughout the day. If you work from home, if you have a flexible schedule, if you genuinely want a dog that is your shadow and your constant companion, a sensitive soul breed will give you one of the most emotionally rich relationships of your life. These dogs love with everything they have. But if your lifestyle requires long hours away from home, if you need a dog that can self-soothe and entertain themselves, a sensitive soul will suffer in ways that will break your heart. The fourth category is the guardian breeds. Rottweilers, German Shepherds, Cane Corsos, Bull Mastiffs, Great Pyrenees, Anatolian Shepherds. Guardian breeds are extraordinarily loyal, deeply bonded to their families and genuinely protective. In the right hands, they are some of the most magnificent dogs on earth. But they come with a responsibility that most people are not prepared for. Guardian breeds are naturally suspicious of strangers. This is not aggression. This is their job. They were designed to assess threats, to stand between their family and danger, to make independent decisions about who is safe and who is not. That instinct is always running in the background, even in the most well-trained guardian breed. What this means in practice is that socialization for a guardian breed is not optional. It is not something you can skip or do casually. It is an ongoing, lifelong commitment that must begin the moment that puppy comes home and must never stop. A guardian breed that is not socialized from puppyhood, that does not have thousands of positive experiences with strangers, with children, with other dogs, with new environments, will default to their instinct. And their instinct says that unfamiliar things are potential threats. A Cane Corso that decides a stranger is a threat is not a small problem. These dogs weigh up to 150 pounds and have a bite force that is among the strongest of any domestic dog. This is not a situation that can be managed in the moment. It has to be prevented through years of consistent, knowledgeable socialization and training. I want to be very direct about this. If you are a first-time dog owner, do not get a Cane Corso, do not get a Rottweiler, do not get an Anatolian Shepherd. Not because these breeds are dangerous by nature. They are not, but because they require a level of knowledge, consistency and experience that takes years to develop. They deserve an owner who has that. And so do you, if you are experienced, if you are committed to proper socialization and training, if you understand the responsibility that comes with a guardian breed. These dogs will protect your family with their lives and love you with everything they have. The fifth category is what I call the comedians, beagles, French bulldogs. Pugs, bulldogs, basset hounds, these are the breeds people choose when they want a dog that fits into a relaxed lifestyle. And in many ways they are right. Comedians are generally lower energy, deeply food motivated, which makes them easier to train, and have a laid-back quality that suits apartment living. And less active owners, but every category has its shadows. And the shadows of the comedian breeds are things people almost never talk about before they adopt. Beagles were bred to follow a scent for hours, across miles of terrain without stopping. That nose is their entire world. And when a beagle catches an interesting scent, everything else, your voice, your commands, your existence disappears completely. A beagle off-leash, in an unsecured area, is a beagle you may never see again. Not because they don't love you, but because that nose leads and everything follows. Beagles also howl. The beagle bay is one of the most distinctive and carrying sounds in the dog world. It was designed to be heard across fields by hunters on horseback, in a suburban neighborhood at 2 in the morning. When your beagle has picked up the scent of a fox, this is not an endearing quality. French bulldogs and pugs come with a conversation that the breeding community is having very loudly right now. These breeds were created through extreme selective breeding that has resulted in serious structural health problems. Their flat faces, the feature that makes them look so cute and human-like, also means they struggle to breathe. Many of them breathe with audible effort all the time. They overheat easily. They cannot swim because their body structure does not support it. They often require surgery just to breathe comfortably. Before you adopt a flat-faced breed, please research what you are committing to. The veterinary bills can be significant. The health management is ongoing, and ethically, it is worth understanding where these animals come from and what their quality of life actually looks like. So where does this leave us? Let me give you a simple framework. If you are a first-time dog owner with a moderate activity level and a regular work schedule, look at Labrador Retrievers, Golden Retrievers, Poodles, and Cavalier King Charles Spaniels. These breeds are genuinely beginner-friendly, highly trainable and adaptable to a wide range of lifestyles. If you are active, experienced, and want a dog that will match your energy and challenge you, look at German Shepherds, Australian Shepherds, and Standard Poodles. They are demanding but deeply rewarding. If you live in an apartment and work from home, look at Greyhounds. Yes, Greyhounds. Despite their racing history, adult Greyhounds are actually one of the most calm, gentle, and apartment-friendly breeds in existence. They sprint, then they sleep for 18 hours. They are the introverts of the dog world, and they are wonderful. If you want a low-maintenance companion with a big personality, look at Basset Hounds and Shih Tzus. They are happy, adaptable, and deeply loving, without the overwhelming needs of higher drive breeds. And if you are thinking about a rescue dog, which I deeply encourage, please ask the rescue organization about the dog's history, their energy level, their triggers, and their needs. A good rescue organization will match you honestly. Trust their assessment. They know that dog. Here is what I want you to take away from this video. There is no bad breed. There is only a bad match. The dog that is destroying one person's life is the same dog that is the perfect partner for someone else. A husky that is miserable in a city apartment is the same husky that is euphoric, running through snow with an active owner who adores them. A Belgian Malinois that is a behavioral nightmare with a first-time owner is the same dog that is a breathtaking partner with an experienced handler The question is never which breed is best. The question is always which breed is best for you, for your actual life, for your actual schedule, for your actual energy level, for your actual experience. Get that answer right, and you will have a companion that transforms your life in ways you cannot yet imagine. Get it wrong, and you will both spend years paying the price. Take your time, do your research, be honest with yourself, and when you find the right match, you will know, because it will feel less like a choice and more like a recognition. Like you have finally found a dog that was always supposed to be yours. I will see you in the next one.